The FBI doesn't get involved in missing person cases unless something is seriously wrong. Most disappearances are handled locally. Rangers, search teams, maybe state police. That's it. But in these cases, that wasn't enough, because something about them didn't make sense. A man walks into a national forest and never comes back out. No body, no struggle, no clear trail. Days pass, then more days, and then, 11 days later, the FBI gets a call. Not from the public, not from a random tip, from inside the system. And to this day, no one has officially explained why. Not what triggered it, not what they found when they arrived, and not why parts of the case are still restricted. What we do know is this. In all 3 cases tonight, the FBI showed up, and when they left, they didn't give answers. They left more questions. Before we get into the first case, I need to tell you something. There is one detail, one specific line from an FBI field agent that connects all 3 of these disappearances. I am going to hold it until the end of this video because once you hear it, everything you heard before, it will land differently. My name is Tyler. Thomas was my older brother. He was 47 years old, a former Army Ranger, and one of the most capable people in the woods I have ever known. I do not say that to make him sound invincible. I say it because when the FBI got involved in his disappearance, I need you to understand what kind of man they were being called in to find. Thomas had been doing solo trips in the Ouachita National Forest for 20 years. He knew that terrain the way most people know their own neighborhood. He always filed a detailed trip plan with me before he left. Trail names, camp locations, expected return time. On October 14th, 2018, he texted me his plan at 6:22 a.m. before he entered the forest. He was planning a 3-day loop through the Talamina corridor. He had done it twice before. His last confirmed communication was a satellite messenger check-in at 4:17 p.m. on October 14th. The first day of the trip. Everything normal. He was on schedule. He was exactly where he said he would be. He missed his next check-in at 8 a.m. on October 15th. I called the Scott County Sheriff's Office at 10 a.m. when the second check-in was missed. The search began that afternoon. Ground teams, dogs, aerial support over the following 3 days. They covered the Talamina corridor section by section. They found his campsite from the night of October 14th. Tent pitched, sleeping bag inside, camp stove, food bag, everything organized. His pack was leaning against a tree beside the tent. His boots were inside the tent door. His pack was there. His boots were there. Thomas was not. The search expanded over the following week. On day 11, October 25th, 2 agents from the FBI field office in Little Rock arrived at the search command post. I was there when they arrived. I asked the lead agent directly why the FBI was involved. He looked at me for a moment and said they were there to assist with the investigation. I asked him what specifically had triggered federal involvement. He said he was not able to share that at this stage. I have filed 3 FOIA requests since 2018 attempting to access the FBI case file. The first 2 were denied in full. The third, filed in 2020, returned a partial document, 14 pages, 6 of which were redacted entirely. The remaining 8 pages confirmed federal involvement but gave no explanation for what triggered it. Here is what the unredacted pages did contain. A notation on page 3 that read, "Seen inconsistency noted at primary camp location. Details classified pending review." That notation has never been publicly explained. The review it references has never been publicly concluded. Thomas was not found. Not during the active search, not in the years since. The Scott County Sheriff's Office classified him as a missing person in November 2018. The case remains open. I have walked sections of the Talamina corridor 3 times since 2018. I always stop at the camp coordinates from his GPS. I stand at the place where his boots were found inside a tent he never came back to. I think about that notation every time. Seen inconsistency noted at primary camp location. 14 pages, 6 redacted. A detail that triggered the FBI and has never been explained. Thomas was a former Army Ranger. He knew that forest for 20 years. He filed a trip plan, made his check-ins, set up a textbook campsite, and then he was simply not in it anymore. Seen inconsistency at the camp. 6 pages redacted. The FBI arrived and never explained why. Comment below, what do you think they found at that campsite? Subscribe to Obscure Nights right now. Story 2. The FBI didn't just investigate. They sealed part of the official report. My name is Jessica Moran. I was a volunteer search and rescue coordinator for 6 years before I stopped. The case in the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest in March 2020 is the reason I stopped. I want to be precise about that. I did not stop because the work was too hard. I stopped because of what I saw when the FBI arrived, and what I was told I had not seen. The missing person was a woman named Claire Ashford. She was 39 years old, a wildlife photographer, and she had been doing solo overnight trips in national forests for over a decade. She was reported overdue on March 9, 2020, 2 days after she entered the Chattahoochee-Oconee on a planned 3-night photography trip. The Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office opened the search immediately. I joined the search team on day 2. By day 4, we had covered her planned route without finding a single trace. No camp, no equipment, no footprints beyond the trailhead. The forest had absorbed her completely. On day 8, something changed. A ground team working a section approximately 4 miles off Claire's planned route found a camera. Not just any camera. A professional Nikon mirrorless body that matched the equipment description from Claire's next-of-kin report. The camera was sitting on a flat rock beside a creek. Upright, lens facing the tree line. The memory card was inside it. The camera was functional. The lead ranger on that team contacted Search Command immediately. I was at the command post when the call came in. Within 40 minutes, 2 things happened simultaneously. A vehicle from the FBI Atlanta field office pulled into the command post parking area, and the ranger team that found the camera was instructed by radio to hold their position and not touch anything further. The FBI agents went directly to the camera location. They were there for approximately 2 hours. When they returned to the command post, one of them spoke briefly with the lead sheriff's deputy. I was standing close enough to hear part of that conversation. The agent said, "The card has been reviewed. We're taking it under federal jurisdiction. It doesn't leave the scene in a local evidence bag." The camera and the memory card left with the FBI. The Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office case file, which I obtained a partial copy of through a contacts request in 2021, does not mention the camera. It does not mention the FBI's involvement on day 8. The section covering days 7 through 11 of the search is a single paragraph that reads, "Extended search operations continued. No further physical evidence recovered. No camera, no memory card, no FBI. In the official public record. Every year, the National Forest Service reports thousands of incidents classified as unresolved. Most are never made public. I believe the Chattahoochee-Oconee case is one of the ones that was made deliberately smaller than it actually was. Claire Ashford has never been found. The Lumpkin County Sheriff's Office lists her as a missing person. The camera that was found sitting upright facing the tree line 4 miles from her planned route does not exist in any official document I have been able to access. I think about what was on that memory card, what Claire photographed in those 3 days before she disappeared, what the FBI agent saw when he reviewed it at the creek. He looked at it and put it in a federal evidence bag before anyone else could see it. I have spent 3 years trying to find out what was on it. I have found nothing, and that is the answer that terrifies me most. A camera found facing the tree line. A memory card taken by the FBI before anyone else saw it, not mentioned in any official document. Like this video right now. Story 3. This is the one I keep coming back to, because of what the agent said before he closed the file. If you are not subscribed to Obscure Nights, right now, this is the moment, because what I am about to tell you in Story 3 is the line I have been holding since the beginning of this video. The line from the FBI agent that connects all 3 of these cases. Stay with me. Carlos here. Marcus was my cousin. He was 52 years old, a retired school principal, and the most methodical person I have ever known. He planned everything 3 steps ahead. He was not someone who took risks he had not calculated. He was not someone who got lost. He entered the Nantahala National Forest in North Carolina on November 3, 2021 for what he described to me as a solo clarity trip. He did that twice a year. Went into the forest alone for 4 days, no phone signal, no contact. He called it the reset. He had been doing it for 15 years without incident. The difference on November 3, 2021 was that when he did not emerge on November 7th as planned, the person waiting for him at the trailhead was me. I waited until noon. Then I called the Macon County Sheriff's Office. The search began that evening. The Nantahala is one of the most rugged sections of the Southern Appalachians. Deep gorges, dense forest, elevation changes that disorient even experienced hikers. The search team was experienced and thorough. Over 8 days, they covered every section of Marcus's planned route and significant areas beyond it. On day 6, they found something. Not Marcus, a location. A specific section of trail approximately 9 miles from the trailhead where the search dogs behaved in a way the handler described to me privately as wrong. All 3 dogs reached the same point on the trail. All 3 stopped. All 3 refused to continue forward. The handler said in 12 years of SAR work with those dogs, she had never seen all 3 refuse simultaneously. The trail ahead of that point looked completely normal. There was nothing visible to explain the refusal. On day 9, the FBI field office in Charlotte made contact with the search command. 2 agents arrived on day 10. I was there. Here's what I need to tell you carefully. I did not speak to the lead agent during the active search. I spoke to him 6 months later, in May 2022, when I drove to the field office in Charlotte and waited in the parking lot until he came out. I introduced myself. I told him Marcus was my cousin. I asked him one question. I asked him why the FBI was involved in a missing persons case in a national forest. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that I have written down exactly as he said it because I knew immediately I needed to remember every word. He said, "We get called when the local explanation runs out." In cases like your cousin's, the local explanation ran out on day 1. Then he got in his car and drove away. The local explanation ran out on day 1. I have turned that sentence over in my mind every day since May 2022. What does it mean that the local explanation ran out on day 1, the same day Marcus disappeared? What did they see in that forest on day 1 that already exceeded what rangers and game wardens and sheriff's deputies could account for? Marcus has never been found. The Macon County case remains open. The FBI closed their involvement in January 2022 with no public statement. There is one detail in the case file I have not mentioned yet. I have been sitting with it. I was not sure how to say it. The search dogs refused to go forward on the trail at the exact point where Marcus's footprints ended. Not where they became unclear. Not where the terrain changed. Where they ended. Clean. Mid-stride. Like the trail itself had a door in it. And on the other side of that door, nothing that any official, federal or local, has ever been willing to put on record. The local explanation ran out on day 1. 3 dogs refused at the exact point where his prints ended, and a door in the trail that nobody will put on record. Comment below. What do you think is on the other side of that door? 3 national forests, 3 disappearances, 3 FBI field offices called in from 3 different states. Thomas in the Ouachita, 6 pages redacted, seen inconsistency at the camp that has never been explained. Claire in the Chattahoochee Oconee, a camera found facing the tree line, a memory card taken by the FBI before anyone else could see it, erased from every official document. Marcus in the Nantahala, dogs that refused at the point where the prints ended. An agent who said the local explanation ran out on day 1. In all 3 cases, the FBI closed their involvement without a public statement, which means either they found nothing, or they found something they decided not to share. I know which one I believe. I think you do too. What lives in those forests, whatever it is, has been there long enough that the people whose job it is to know about it have a protocol for not talking about it. That protocol has a name. We just do not know what it is yet. If you are hiking in a national forest this season and something does not add up about what you are seeing, trust that feeling. The FBI does. This is Obscure Nights, where the cases nobody talks about get told the way they actually happened. Subscribe, because next upload, we go somewhere even the Rangers won't go after dark. Good night.